Now we're going to talk about what happens when one function is not clearly on top of the other. If we're given the functions f of x equals x minus 1 cubed and g of x equals x minus 1, and we graph them in our calculators, we would get something that looks like this. You can see our functions intersect where the x values are 0, 1, and 2. Now our cubic function, f of x, is on top of our linear function from 0 to 1. However, from 1 to 2, our linear function is on top. This means we need to set up two separate integrals and add them together. So in order to find the area between two curves, for this blue part right here, what you would have to do is set up an integral where your cubic function comes first. So you would have x minus 1 cubed, and then you would subtract your linear function. So your x minus 1. That's because from 0 to 1, your cubic function is on top. So my bounds here would be 0 to 1. Now, if I wanted to find this purple area right here, I would have to set up a separate integral that I'm going to add to my first one. So this integral, my linear function is going to be first, because here my linear function is on top. So I have x minus 1, then I subtract my cubic function, because my cubic function is on the bottom. From here, I would go from 1 to 2, because those are the x values where these two functions intersect, and between them, the linear function is on top. What I'm going to do now to integrate is put these functions in my calculator. First, I'm going to find my blue integral right here. So what I'm going to do is, in my calculator, I'm going to go to y equals and put in what I want to integrate, which is x minus 1 cubed minus x minus 1 and then I am going to integrate it, which is number 7 here, from 0 to 1. And my area there is 0.25. So 0.25. And then I'm going to add to it what I get for this purple integral. Notice how, even though this blue area was below our x-axis, we still have a positive area because it's the area between our curves. It does not matter whether the curves are above or below the x-axis, it will always be positive because the area between two curves is always positive. So now for my purple one, I'm going to put that function in and integrate it from 1 to 2. So I'll go back to y equals, clear that out, and I will put in my linear function and then subtract my cubic function. And integrate that from 1 to 2. And again, I get 0.25. So the total area between the two curves, when I add those together, is 0.5.